Today's adventure brings us back to Rochester, New York, and happy Halloween. And this is Highland Park in the city of Rochester. Let's get started. So what we're going to be doing today, hopefully, as long as the weather holds out, which we're dodging raindrops, there's 3 locations in Highland Park here that we're going to try and cover. The Warner Castle, the conservatory, and there's actually a burial site here that has the bodies of people who died when this whole place was an asylum. So let's see what we can do. A portion of the Horatio Gates Warner estate, the rolling land located to the west of South Avenue and adjacent to Highland, was donated to the park in 1907 in lieu of back taxes. The residence and adjoining gardens were retained by private ownership until 1951, when the city of Rochester purchased the property. Frederick Law Olmsted Sr. had either noted that this wooded property afforded beautiful vistas and would make a fine park. However, the price of the property had been prohibitive when the initial park system sites were under construction. A residence on the property tract was built by Horatio Gates Warner in 1854. The structure resembled the ancestral castle of the Clan Douglas, which captivated his fancy during his visit to Scotland. Warner was a prominent Rochester attorney, businessman, newspaper publisher, and editor. The castle went through various owners after the Warner family and briefly served as a sanatorium. Ailing DeForest was hired in the 1920s to refurbish the grounds, and it was in 1930 that the Sunken Gardens were added to the rear of the property. Okay, so our wet, chilly journey begins. So what we're gonna do here, I already showed Warner Castle, and the Warner Castle itself is said to be haunted by full-body apparitions. Items have been known to fly off of tables on their own volition. But the main thing here that we're gonna look at the Warner Estate Castle is the Sunken Gardens. So we're gonna take a stroll and go see that between raindrops. Okay, this is gonna be very interesting. The weather here is definitely not ideal. Now, it's important to note that this is a public park, so technically this isn't trespassing. We're gonna go back here and take a look and find the Sunken Gardens. The weather is gonna limit what I can and cannot do, but this actually should be pretty cool. Let's get a look at the Warner Estate. Why not, while we're coming back here? It is one of Rochester's haunted buildings. It's not clear who haunts the building, but the reports don't lie for sure. Now let's see if we can find the Sunken Garden. Aha! Found it. This is kind of, the grounds are kind of slippery again. It's late October, almost November. It's Halloween night. And the ground is very slippery, very tricky. But let's see what we can do about getting down in there, hopefully. Okay, man, this is cool. This is an example of what a little bit of homework will do for you. Let's get a good look at this place. This is really neat. Kind of creepy, kind of gothic, actually. We're definitely going to go down there. So what do people report from the Sunken Garden? There is cold spots. Again, full-body apparitions and shadow people have been reported darting from place to place. But why would they be here? Well, the place was a sanatorium, and it's not out of the question that there's a lot of unmarked graves here from the days when it was a sanatorium. Most of the areas in this park were part of a large, massive sanatorium. During construction of the park, bulldozers actually unearthed a lot of remains. Now, the sanatorium park itself was just like rolling hills in East Bethany. You had a mix. You had retired people, you had the insane, you had people, you had paupers, because the place was also a poorhouse. And there wasn't a lot of discrimination from one spot to the other. So it was quite the mix. I tell you what, this is neat. I could eat lunch here. This needs to be my backyard, actually. I could definitely work that. I love the smell of the pine needles. This is so cool. May have to come back in here in the summer just to play around. Now, let's take a peek this way. I want to see if I can see the conservatory. You just imagine something popping out of the shadows, especially this being Halloween. Pretty cool, right? I'm not going to really invest too much into this, but I know this conservatory is somewhere back behind this place. Again, I'm ducking raindrops. I think the way to handle this is to get the high ground. Because I see what could be what I'm looking for. Just gotta be very careful. This is super slippery. Oh, maybe. Ha ha! Yes! I pulled it off. Okay, this, folks, is the conservatory. Okay, let's carefully go down here and check out this conservatory. Just gotta watch these slippery leaves. Don't want no injuries. Gonna cut down and go in front of this place. The terrain here is just like Mount Hope Cemetery. Let's just cruise around to the front of this. Again, this entire property was an asylum. And this is actually one of the few buildings outside of it that actually... Okay, so this is a music pavilion. This isn't the conservatory. I stand corrected. Pretty cool nonetheless. But what I'm going to do now is pull back so you can at least see the music pavilion. That's pretty neat. But that's not the conservatory. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna head back to the direction of Warner Castle and basically reorganize. But there's the music pavilion. That's pretty cool. So we're still in search of the conservatory and the stone marker. So let's go back to Warner Castle and reconvene there. There we go. Okay, so we found it. Basically, due to the weather, we literally had to drive to it, but success. So this is the Lamberton Conservatory. It was originally constructed in 1911. The Lambert Conservatory was named in honor of Alexander B. Lamberton, who was the president of the Parks Board from 1902 to 1915. Original funding from the relatives of Lamberton provided for the building's costs and would allow for continuous specialized exhibits and diverse plant species. Already a nationally renowned arboretum designed by Frederick Law Olmsted, Highland Park's horticultural status was certainly heightened by its construction. So let's go take a look at the conservatory here. Now, at first glance, you wouldn't see something like this and think paranormal or anything ghost related. But there's been a lot of reports out of this spot. Footsteps, voices, full body apparitions seem to abound all around the property. Now, voices of men playing cards have also been recorded in the basement. Also, there are EVPs of women and children, which is interesting. So I'm thinking all of those reports must still stem from the fact that this here was part of that asylum. Let's just take a quick peek over here and just look at this landscape. This is just awesome. Again, we're ducking raindrops, but so far, so good. Now, these trees here provide another very interesting story that could explain some of the hauntings here at the conservatory. In 2003, there was a suicide by hanging from one of these trees. Which one, I'm not sure, but we all know how suicides and the paranormal kind of go hand in hand. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that one of the spirits here could be the poor soul that decided to end their life right here. Let's go take a good look as much as we can without going inside. I mean, I'd love to go inside, but this is a triple threat video here with the 3 locations. I'm hoping to get to this second location where I can find this. Basically, it's a boulder. Let's take a little walk around the conservatory here. Essentially, it's a small greenhouse, but it's one of the last remaining outbuildings from when this whole place was an asylum. I'm kind of intrigued about the voices of the men playing cards in the basement. Kind of come around here and get a look at the front of the place. I mean, this park system itself is massive. It kind of reminds me of the botanical gardens in Lackawanna, but much smaller. Let's go up here and take a look at this. This has got to be a representation of Mr. Lamberton. This is cool. I could spend some time at this place. Of course, it'd be a movie-length video to do so. I'm really impressed with the way I'm able to handle the weather and dodge these raindrops. And by the way, yep, grandbaby sighting. So cool. So now we continue dodging raindrops, hopefully. Okay, that was the second location in this massive park. Now, good Lord willing, let's go find the final piece of the puzzle. Let's find the boulder that marks the remains of folks that were buried from the asylum. Let's give it a try. Hopefully we don't get washed out. So like Meatloaf says, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Essentially, I'm getting skunked by the weather. It's raining harder and harder. And the one thing I knew was going to be kind of a challenge to find was going to be this burial marker. So I know I'm close, and I'm just going to have to run with close. Basically, the burial marker is in the area where the poorhouse was. And the marker, it's located where it's basically a mass grave of people who passed away in the poorhouse. Because there was some construction, bulldozers went through, they dug up some graves, and they found there was a lot more. So they decided to turn it into a memorial. Where it is exactly, I'm not sure, but I'm getting skunked by the weather. It is what it is. In a future video or adventure, if I come across it, I will definitely let you know. I'll show it, but I know I'm close. So I'm going to show you the area around here. I'm near the reservoir, and it was supposedly at the reservoir or somewhere close. But again, it's becoming a soaker. But I'm going to show you a couple cool things that I saw while I was out here. Okay, just check out this tree. This is insane or what? It kind of looks like a woolly mammoth or some kind of large insect. There was no way I wasn't gonna actually film and show this thing. So what I am gonna do, I'm gonna pan over this way. I'm fairly certain this is where the reservoir is, and it must be closed for a season because I couldn't get up there. Either that or, well, that was just weird. Okay, so I saw something odd out of the corner of my eye right over here. I'm not gonna lie. There's no wind, there's nothing rustling up any of these leaves. There's that tree, but I saw something that was really cool I'm gonna show before we leave. We're gonna go down here. There goes a squirrel. And it was just cool, so I'm gonna show it. This park is definitely worthy of exploration for sure. So we're gonna go here. There was a lot of areas that were deep back in the tree line that were picnic benches and boulders. None of them were marked, and so none of them were the boulder I was looking for. But have a look at this. This is pretty cool. I wish there was more to show you, but I'm definitely getting washed out, and I will say it's definitely a blessing that I got as much as I have. That being said, I'm gonna nose over here really quick, because there's a lot of little boulders in this tree line. This little one over here, it got my attention. There's markers here and there, but that's just another random boulder, I think. Just gonna get close just in case, because there's a lot of hidden little niches in here. I don't want to be right on top of the thing and miss it. Okay, so that's just a poet's garden. I thought maybe it was there, but it's not. So what's reported around here? Well, pretty much the obvious: shadow figures, full body apparitions, and feelings of despair that are kind of unusual for a beautiful place like this. Well, that'll do it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll know when videos drop. And don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time.